Welcome to VSB News Online for Thursday, August 6th. I'm Peter Cattell. Frustrated by the fact no one has come forward with any information about the identity of the male person who was caught on video at the Cup match engaging in sexual misconduct, police today issued a small photograph taken from the video, which may be difficult to view. However, family members of the girl involved have come forward to identify her as a minor. Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Martin Weeks appealed for witnesses, particularly anyone who can assist in identifying the male. They should call Central CID at 247-1086. The Bermuda Tourism Authority has become an official partner of the 35th America's Cup in an effort to boost the island's tourism over the next 2 years before the 165-year-old event climaxes here in June 2017. Harvey Schiller, Commercial Commissioner of the America's Cup, said his organization was pleased to be in a position to help grow the tourism economy in Bermuda by enabling the BTA to have a commanding presence at all of the other America's Cup venues. The partnership will also include branding and promotions on the TV network broadcasts of NBC in 2017. BTA CEO Bill Hanbury said he was pleased to have secured significant exposure from Bermuda on all subsequent broadcasts that feature the event. With the World Travel Organization estimating that the gay travel industry will be worth $21 billion in 2015, and major organizations opening LGBT divisions of their advertising, banking, and investment markets to meet the demand, local activist Tony Brennan wondered today if Bermuda's ban on same-sex marriages might have some bearing on the fact that Bermuda's hotels are currently crying out for business.
The people that are in the know, i.e. senior hotel salespeople, people at the leadership, the top-level leadership of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, they all get it, they all know it, they know what the numbers are. They're in very close contact with these LGBT travel organizations. The numbers are amazing. You know, Bermuda, the thing about Bermuda is that we're sort of, we're locked into this sort of hand-me-down religious thing of homosexuality being an abomination, which is not. It's a choice of who you want to live with it should be a human right. It is a human right in most countries. Barack Obama has shown incredible leadership in America on same-sex marriage. So much so, that I think that the Supreme Court of America, when they ruled recently, had no other way to rule. I mean, it was just the right thing to do. And if you think, when you do the research, and for instance, the state of Texas, since the Supreme Court ruled, the state of Texas is anticipating doing close to $200 million this year alone in same-sex tourism business. That means weddings, honeymoons, and so on and so forth. Bermuda, we historically have really kicked ourselves in this area. We did it in a very bad way with the Rosie O'Donnell cruise a few years back, which got us terrible press. We're seen as homophobic. There are certain people that won't even consider traveling to Bermuda because of the homophobic stance of the politicians of Bermuda. It really is, at the end of the day, the people that can change the laws are the politicians. And the politicians, whether they're OBA, formerly UBP, OBA, or the last government, the PLP, they are all guilty of not doing what is right. It is absolutely time that the leader of this country, which is the premier leading his party, this is not about politics. So they play this political game. Oh, well, if we vote for it, and if we try to bring this up, I mean, we might not get elected in the next election and all this nonsense. That's not leadership. That's hiding behind and afraid to confront a most important issue, which really, at the end of the day, if we had same-sex marriage in Bermuda and we had all the benefits that went with that, obviously the human rights perspective, but on the tourism perspective, our hotels will be overflowing.
She was 17 when she first approached the Department of Workforce Development, seeking advice on how to pursue her dreams of becoming a chef. Today, at the age of 21, Keisha Simmons is second cook at the Fairmont Southampton Resort, having completed her Red Seal certification. She tells Charles Webb the Red Seal certification is just the beginning. She has other culinary pursuits in mind.
The Red Seal is a prestigious degree that you can obtain while going away to Canada. While the course that I've taken, I went away to Canada for 4 years, and every February in those 4 years, I would go for 6 weeks and I'll take theory while coming back here to obtain the practical thing of the Red Seal. Yeah, it's really one step in my journey.
What are some of the things you'd like to do in the kitchen?
Well, I like to make canapes. I love working in the hotline. I don't like doing prep at all.
When you say the hotline, what does that mean?
Like just creating the food for the customers that order. In Ocean Club, we actually got a chance to create specials every day. So our head chef, Chef Adele, will ask us if we want to give an input on what our special should be for that day. So we got a chance to create our specialties down in Ocean Club.
Now, being in the chef's world is a lot of work.
Yes.
Are you prepared to go through the exercise to actually become that chef?
I actually am. I like to have hard work drilled on me, actually. I think it's a little fun. Just a little fun, not too much. But yeah, I just love having all the weight pushed on me. I think it's a great experience.
So fast forward years from now, where do you see yourself?
I actually see myself, well, I would still like to be involved in Vermont, Southampton. Yeah, maybe I see myself owning my own restaurant.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Public Works Minister Craig Cannonier today cut the ribbon on new playground equipment at the Parsons Road site, which had been virtually destroyed by the double hurricanes of last October. He described the unfinished renovations as a work in progress, but said he had gone ahead with the ribbon cutting to attract attention to what has been accomplished for the children in the neighborhood.
If you look behind me, you can see some wonderful equipment that has been erected by Horsefield Landscaping. This is the Parsons Community Playground field that we are at this afternoon. And I have with me, with Parks, Jamaica here, who has been instrumental in helping us get to this point. The lifespan of the equipment that was here before had run its course. And government decided that we needed to continue to have parks like this here with equipment back up and running for the community. As you would well know, this is a very popular place for kids and the surrounding community to use for young people and for picnicking and the likes. The schools around here, I can recall even myself, I mean, I'm all the way from St. David's, and I used to bring my kids up here in afternoons to enjoy the swings that were here before. So this is a largely used area, and the community must be excited about the fact that we now have new equipment that has been put in place. And so to Bermuda, I want to say this is a lovely area. To the community, I would like to say to them as well that it is important that we keep this stuff and keep the area as pristine as possible. So we're looking for your cooperation to encourage people to use it, but not only use it, but to keep it clean as well. And so again, we're thankful for this opportunity. We want to thank Parks for all of the work that it has done, especially after the hurricanes that we had last year, of bringing this place back into the condition that you see it. There's still more work to be done. If you look over to my right, your left, gazebo went missing from the hurricane, and also you have the bathrooms just behind you that still need to be retrofitted and fixed. But for now, we're excited about the fact that we have this wonderful equipment that is here that our young people can now enjoy and take part in. And so at this time, we want to say again to the community, thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity, and to Parks and to Horsfield for making this occasion happen.
Following the holding of an environmental impact study on the plan to dredge both the north and south shipping channels off the Bermuda coast, the decision has been made to leave the South Channel untouched and have the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line and the Bermuda government concentrate on deepening and widening the North Channel. Brian Darby has the story.
When it was first announced that Bermuda would need to deepen and widen its ships' channels off the North Shore if it was going to be able to accommodate the giant cruise ships that were coming off the stocks in the years ahead, a few alarm bells went off. The Bermuda Environmental Sustainability Task Force stressed the need for an environmental impact study, and renowned marine diver Teddy Tucker warned shortly before his death that the exercise would not produce sufficient aggregate to enable it to be used for land reclamation. Both turned out to be right, and the study predicted that the dredging had the potential to damage the healthy reefs in the areas, so the South Channel project has been abandoned to the relief of local environmentalists, and RCL has recently put out the North Channel dredging to tender, and the land reclamation will now involve boulders and aggregate brought in from overseas, the contract for which has already been awarded by the West End Development Corporation. One interesting aspect of the impact study is that it revealed that the proposed extent of the North Channel dredging had been greatly exaggerated, and that in fact only a minimal amount of damage will need to be done to the reefs along the edge of the channel, and at a much lower cost. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
The Bermuda National Gallery's current private collection series features a Bermuda-connected artist who worked with the likes of Jackson Pollock, Mark Rothko, and Romer Bearden. His name, Norman Lewis. Lisa Howie, director of the National Gallery, picks up the story.
Norman Lewis is the son of Bermudian immigrants to the United States. He was born and raised in Harlem in the early turn of the 20th century. He lived through the civil rights era, and he was a strong proponent of civil rights evolution. He was a part of the group Spiral, 360 group, alongside artists such as Romer Bearden, very well, obviously good friends potentially, we believe, with Langston Hughes and the writers of the Harlem Renaissance as well.
Now, does the collector indicate that he knew the connection between this Lewis and the Bermudian Lewis family?
Yes, the collector is very much aware of the Bermuda connection, but the research and the history doesn't tell us too much about Lewis returning home or Lewis's involvement, say, with other Bermudian artists like Richard Saunders, who would have worked overseas as well.
When you look at this particular painting, do you associate him with any of the events in Bermuda's history towards, desegregation, things like this?
Well, Dr. Edwin Smith was just here visiting, and we were chatting about the work, and he felt that there was a very strong relationship between this work and Bobby Barrett's piece on the civil rights as well, which is also in the Bermuda National Gallery collection. We were looking at the geometric shapes, the continuous lines, the color palette, and also the relative sense of ambiguity in the work. That there's obviously a very strong ambiguity in a work that's more abstract. Bobby Barrett's piece was not necessarily as abstract, but that they both spoke to the same social evolution that was taking place.
So this would be a painting that would interest civil rights activists.
Social activists of the day, absolutely. Painters who are interested in that fine line between realism and abstraction. And generally anyone really trying to unroot and unveil how Bermudians and artists connected to our Bermudian history have had a strong impact. Norman Lewis is very much one of the strong flags on the timeline of the development of not just African American art, but art in the Americas.
And now we turn to Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
Rebecca Halliger was in the pool for the first time in FINA's World Aquatics Championships going on in Kazakhstan, Russia, while Julian Fletcher was back in the pool for the second time. Halliger competed in the women's 100-meter freestyle. Halliger's first 50 meters was very good as she turned in 27.4, but her stroke rate was not fast enough on her second 50 meters. She finished with a time of 58.71, which placed her 57th out of 90 swimmers. Fletcher competed in the men's 200-meter breaststroke, which has shown to be his best event of late. Fletcher touched the wall in a time of 2:21.39, which was his fourth fastest time ever and fourth all-time performance for Bermuda. Fletcher finished 49th out of 52 competitors. Bermuda's under-15 boys national team began competing in the Mexico Five-Nation Tournament in Mexico City. Bermuda's opening game against Panama took place at the Centro de Remito Stadium, which is the high-performance center and the home of the Mexican national team. Bermuda went down 3-0. The Bermuda Cricket Board and Chivas Regal announced the weekly Chivas Cricket Sportsman Award. Week 8 winner is Ray Butterfield from Western Stars. Making the announcement was Neil Spate from the Bermuda Cricket Board.
This last week, the Under-14 Summer All-Star game was scheduled on the Monday, and at 4:30 the host venue actually was declared unfit, and as an emergency basis Ray prepared a surface for that team for that game so those 28 young men could celebrate cricket in style. So for the act of sportsmanship and encouragement of youth cricket, the winner for this week is Ray Butterfield.
Butterfield accepted the award for some of cricket's unsung heroes.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Goslings, thank you to Chivas for being able to present me with this award. I'd like to also thank the board for nominating me for this award. And last but not least, I'd like to take this on behalf of all the groundsmen, because we do this for cricket, whether it's youth cricket, whether it's senior cricket, it's just for cricket. So all the groundsmen, this is for us. Thank you.
The Louis Vuitton America's Cup World Series Portsmouth today announced the attendance numbers for the event from July 23rd through to the 26th. But the worrying would be that Bermuda will not reach a quarter of each of the categories that they have singled out. There were 245,460 spectators over the 4 days in Portsmouth. 1/4 of that in Bermuda would be 61,365 spectators. 108,329 spectators within the South Sea Common Event Site. 1/4 of that in Bermuda would be 27,082. 25,700 spectators were on the water. That will equate to 6,425 people on the waters of the Great Sound. 111,431 watched the action from the sites around Portsmouth, including the historic Dockyard and Gun Wharf Quays. 1/4 of that in Bermuda would see 27,857 spectators. On the only day of racing, which was the 25th of July, there were 67,374 spectators on site. 1/4 of that in Bermuda would be 16,843. A total of 22,000 were on the water. 1/4 of that will be 5,500 people in Bermuda, and 49,067 off-site to view the racing. 1/4 of that in Bermuda would be 12,266. 6 young riders will make up the Bermuda Bicycle Association's junior national team that headed off to the Dominican Republic this morning to compete in the Junior Caribbean Cycling Championships this weekend. Competition gets underway on Saturday with individual time trial and then a road race on Sunday. Representing Bermuda will be Daniel Oatley in the junior male 17 to 18 category. Dylan Hill, Caden Hopkins, and Matthew Oliveira will compete in the junior boys 15 to 16 age group. Cassandra McPhee and Tristan Narroway will compete in the female 15 to 18 category. Alyssa Rouse had been selected for the event, but due to injuries sustained in a training ride, she is unable to travel with the team. Meanwhile, Dominic Mayo concluded competing in the first ever Nittany Stage race that had over 200 confirmed participants. The Nittany Stage race second stage saw Mayo compete in the men's professional 1-2 division time trial that featured 33 competitors. Mayo finished 9th with a time of 12:09.3, with Stephen Hall winning the stage in a time of 11:41.7. The 2015 Para-Pan American Games gets underway in Toronto in 2 days, with the track and field action starting on Monday, August 10th at the CIBC Pan American Para-Pan Athletic Stadium. A host of para stars from the Americas, including Bermuda's Jessica Lewis, will be hoping to strike gold. The 22-year-old wheelchair racer Lewis was Bermuda's flag bearer at the 2011 Para-Pan Games in 2011, where she competed in the 100-meter, 200-meter, and 400-meter T53 events. Lewis was the first track and field athlete to represent Bermuda at a major para-sport championships. She will face stiff competition in Toronto as she comes up against the defending champion, Chelsea McClammer, once again. The track and field competition at the Toronto 2015 Parapan Games will feature 377 athletes competing in 114 medal events between August 10th and August 14th. 19 boats went to the start line for race day 14 of the Wednesday night sailing series that begins and ends in the Hamilton Harbor. Crossfire crossed the line first with a time of 1 hour 46, and their corrected time of 1:06:39 saw them finish second on the night. Nasty Medicine was second to cross the line, clocking a time of 1:06:30, with their corrected time of 1:12:39 saw them finish 12th on the night. The third boat to cross the line on the night was Honey Badger, clocking 1:11:15, and their corrected time of 1:05:52 saw them finish first on the night. Yapster was third on the night with a corrected time of 1:07 flat, after recording a time of 1:11:28. Mayhem was fourth on the night with a corrected time of 1:07:56, and Passion rounded out the top 5 finishers on the night with a corrected time of 1:09:15. I'm Earl Baston reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Friday, August 7th, there will be sunny periods, a few showers, and a chance of thunder, decreasing later. Winds will be southerly, light to moderate, increasing to moderate around showers. We are expecting a high near 86 Fahrenheit and a low near 77 Fahrenheit. This weather report is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thank you for watching VSB News Online for Thursday, August 6th. I'm Peter Kitzel.